All right. Hello, everybody. I think we're live and streaming for episode 5 of Fish by Magnetic Scrolls. Are we going to figure out how to get the grommet out of the chalice in this episode? Or are we going to break our rule and look up a walkthrough and cheat to figure it out? Because I'm not sure we can go like a whole hour without making any progress here. But I don't think we'll need to. I think we've got a few things to experiment with and try out. So if you'd all like to say hello, just give your name and let us know that you're here.
Hello, I'm Lee.
Hi, I'm Swandis.
Hi, I'm Rosie.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And hi, I'm Woody.
Hey, Woody. All right. I guess Lucas is not here yet. I think they were last seen getting pizza out of the oven. So,
They're here now.
cool. Hey, Lucas. All right. I've already loaded the emulator and fired us up. So, before I restore our game, would anyone like to just give us a recap on where we are and maybe have a conversation about what we could try out next?
I don't mind doing the recap. So we're still in the Abbey. We've learned some things. We've learned that we get the gargoyle by tying the cord round it and pulling it off the arch. But then that brings the arch down and that alerts the hippies to our presence. We think that we've got 7 moves from that point. As far as we know, if we go straight through to the altar in the catacombs. But we did figure out that if we put this sarcophagus lid over the door, that possibly gives us more moves, or maybe then it's not about moves. Maybe it's something else that we've done wrong, but we haven't managed to do all the moves yet without the hippies killing us. I think we know what we need to do. We need to put the gargoyle on the altar, and then we need to get the chalice and the grommet. But so far, that's just rendered us dead. We've also learned some other things about commands, so the kind of commands we can and can't use. We know we've learned that we can't use things like cover or wrap or place under or lower. So we're learning as we go along how to write the commands in a way that's speeding things up a little bit. But yeah, as for ideas.
Yeah, so there's words that the parser clearly doesn't understand at all. So it's not just that we can't lower the gargoyle from the arch, for example, but it doesn't understand the word lower. So that is obviously a word that's not used throughout the whole game. And the same for cover, and the same for wrap, and the same for place under, and any others that we tried and that it didn't understand. So when we do have ideas for things to do, kind of we need to think about how we're going to phrase those things as well. And yeah, like use words that we know the parser understands. I don't know about anybody else, and I'll open it up for people to make suggestions, but I'd really like to try out or to experiment with how many moves we've got. So I'd like to go and put the sarcophagus lid over the doorway and then just wait to see whether we actually have gained some moves, or whether it actually, it's actually a trigger, like us taking the chalice triggers the next interaction with the fins. I suspect it might be that, having read back the text from last week's episode.
One idea I'd like to put forward from Maya is that when we did it before and we put the lid and then we went down and put the gargoyle in the altar and we got all the way to did we have the chalice, or we were about to pick it up, and the fins were seen peering into the room.
Yeah.
Maya, Maya was screaming at the YouTube saying, "Turn the flashlight off."
Yeah. Yes.
Well, yeah, let's try that as well then.
I think that's a really good shout. And I also I was looking at that text the other day, and that text appears immediately as you take the chalice. So it's almost like taking the chalice is a trigger, and it says, you're so intent on the chalice that you you know, ignore a sound behind you and the fins are peering into the chamber, they don't look happy. So I think it's actually, you know, once we've put the sarcophagus lid over the doorway, I think we have, you know, an infinite number of turns until we pick the chalice up, and then that triggers them looking in. So I think you're dead right. I think Maya's dead right. We should turn our torch off and see if that makes them go away again.
Well, I'd rather that than testing to see if we have an infinite number of moves.
Okay, let's just try that straight away, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, I need to remember which of our save games is the correct one. I think it's CD. Let's restore CD04. I think this is, yeah. So I think we can now say pull cord at this point, can't we? Yep. And now get gargoyle. And now down and south. And then drop gargoyle. And then get lid. And then, was it put lid into doorway?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, the sarcophagus lid is now inside the doorway. And then get gargoyle and untie it. Okay, so at this point we hear voices in the room outside, and the fins decide that we must have perished in the collapsing ceiling. And now we can go down. And now we can place gargoyle in hole. And now I think we have time to examine the column. And we can get the chalice. So this is where we then need to turn the light off. So when I say get chalice, yeah, you see it's part of the description of getting the chalice. It says intent on examining it. You don't pay proper attention to the sounds behind you. This is not a good idea. The hippies have found a way and are peering into the chamber. They do not look happy. So switch off torch. With a sigh of relief, the torch batteries take a while and rest. The members of the band close in. Step by step, they move towards you. Oh dear.
Ah.
But, I mean, I'm going to have to go through that sequence again. I need to save at that point, don't I, before I take the chalice. So we have one turn, I think, from taking the chalice. I think we have one move. I'm going to get back to that point.
So do we turn the torch off before we get the chalice?
I'm not sure we can take the chalice in the dark, but we'll try.
Another idea is that maybe we need to go somewhere else to get the grommet.
Yes. Like, what happens if we just take off, go back up, and run away, if you like?
Yeah, go back to the van.
Yeah, for instance. Yeah. Okay. Let me just get back to that point. Down south. Drop gargoyle. Get lid. Put lid in doorway. Okay, I'm going to save the game at the point where we put the gargoyle in the altar. Put gargoyle in hole.
I actually like the idea of running away.
Chalice.
That's good. Yeah.
Well, I could try switching the torch off here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can't see the chalice. Okay, let's get the chalice then.
What do we That's
We're
true.
going to be blocked by
Yeah.
the sarcophagus
Yeah,
lid,
we
aren't
are. Which means we may have to take it out before we come down here.
Yeah, we might have to take it out after they think we're dead.
Yeah. So I'm going to go up. No. The hippies close off your exit. A quick karate chop and one falls to the floor. A perfectly executed savate kick and another collapse. This is all too easy. Turning to attack the leader, you whirl on your toes just in time to do 3 things. Watch him pull out a Magnum 44. Watch him pull the trigger. Die. Castle. Okay.
Frustrating.
Let's have a closer look at the altar.
There's no hole or anything that we can hide in under the altar.
Look behind altar. Look under altar. Nothing of interest. Search room. Search altar. Nothing.
Chris, didn't you say before you could put the blankets or use the blanket over the entrance?
Yeah. I can put the blanket over the entrance. I mean, I can go up.
We
Get the
can't
lid.
get in the hole in the altar, can we?
I can go and get the lid, and I can put. I think the fins have already left by this point. Put blanket into doorway. The old blanket is now inside the doorway. I can. I'm still carrying too much. I can, if I drop the gargoyle, get the lid down. I can. Can I put lid on altar? The sarcophagus lid is now on the ancient altar. I don't know why I would do that. But these are things I can do. I can put the blanket in the doorway and I can put the lid on the altar. I can go back up and get the gargoyle. I can come down. I can put gargoyle in hole. Yeah, the lid being on the altar makes no difference. I can look at the chalice before taking it. I wonder if I can just take the chalice and the grommet. Let me just try doing that in one move, as Rosie suggested. I think it still treats them both as 2 separate moves, but
Yeah.
take chalice and take grommet from chalice. Let's try that. You grab the chalice. Intent on examining it, you don't pay proper attention to the sounds behind you. This is not a good idea. The hippies have found a way in and are peering into the chamber. They do not look happy. Not so far, says one of the hippies, obviously the leader and probably one of the Finns. Hand over the grommet. You try to lodge an SOS with HQ. The leader holds out his hand and stares you in the eye. Right, he yells. Hold him down, boys. The hippies close in. The smell is terrible. Just when you wanted a hole to open up in the ground and swallow you, one does. Well, almost. It's actually in the ceiling, but it'll definitely do. The hippies stop in their tracks and stare at the hole. Poor baby, says one, taking a puff. That's really free. You dive for it. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a goldfish approaching at phenomenal speed. Too late to avoid it now. Blam! The grommet falls from your grasp and into the glass box. Sorry about the timing, says Sir Playfair's distorted voice, rolling and tumbling through the dimensions with you. Excellent job. Well done. Keep up the good work. Panchak's out.
Yes!
Come on!
Why did that work?
Yeah.
What did we do?
Took the chalice and the grommet. in one like command.
Yeah, but I don't understand why when we took the chalice before, why, and then just tried to take the grommet straight afterwards, it didn't work.
Because so last time we did that, it says that we didn't examine the chalice. There was a text about not having examined it, and that, you know, we failed our training or something. I think the difference is that we examined the chalice before taking it. So
Oh, yeah,
what we did before is we looked at the column. It said there's a chalice in a niche, and we took the chalice and then looked at the chalice and then tried to take the grommet out. What we did this time was we looked at the column. It said there's a chalice in a niche. We then looked at the chalice. It said there's a grommet in it. So now we were aware of the grommet, and then we could take the chalice and take the grommet out.
Yeah. Plausible.
Well, thank goodness anyway.
Yes.
Yeah,
Re-
seriously.
I mean, not very what's forgiving, very unforgiving sequence of commands. Very specific, and kind of alluded to in the text where it says that you should have examined it first. I think it was really just luck that I did it. So
Yeah. It also didn't score us any points.
right.
It you know, as far as I can tell, we scored points for putting the gargoyle in the altar, and then we scored points for getting the grommet. None of the steps in between, none of the looking at the chalice or examining the chalice.
Okay.
None
Yeah.
of that scored us any points. But
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's, well, obviously there's not enough turns from the archway to even get the chalice, unless you block the doorway. I've no idea whether blocking the doorway with a blanket would have worked or not. I think that's something for me to try in my spare time, I think. But nonetheless, we've done it.
yep.
So
Yay! Onwards to portal number 3, sir.
that's right.
Onwards.
Okay. Swim. What is it now? The small one? Small. Swim, small, warp. Okay. The dimensions flash past as you swim through the small warp and slide into the host-parasite interface with consummate ease. Another human. Work, work, work. Plush lounge. Lounge areas in recording studios are usually for one purpose only, and that's to lull musicians into a full sense of the value of time. They'll sit in the comfortable sofa, drinking coffee and watching promo videos on the television here, all the while running up huge bills at the standard hourly rate. But they can afford it. Through a glass door to the north is an office. The only other exits are east and west. A waste bin is standing in the corner. Rod is loafing around, as tape-ops are wont to do. An important-looking beetroot-faced producer enters the room behind you. "You," he shouts charmingly. "Make some coffee or you're fired." He strides out. Okay, I'm going to start a new map.
We better make some coffee.
Yes. I think that seems like the first task.
And we've probably got a limited number of turns to do so.
Yes, probably. Okay, plush lounge. And there was what was there? A waste paper basket?
Yep.
And Rod. So I guess the question might be, is our task to make a cup of coffee, or is our task to do a bunch of other things, but we only have a certain number of moves before that producer, kills us for not having made a cup of coffee? I guess we'll find out.
That's a pretty standard response to not getting your coffee, isn't it?
Yeah, well, obviously when I say kill, I mean break the host-parasite interface. Okay, what should we do?
Guess we better look in the bin.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm going to say look in bin. The waste bin contains a ferric oxide cassette. The producer's voice booms from the distance. Rod, what are you doing? I need a tape changing. Coming, shouts Rod. I'd better go, he says, rushing out. It's best not to upset him.
We take the tape and then make him some coffee.
Okay, well, so there was a glass door to the north into an office, and then east and west from here.
Oh, just for the benefit of all our podcast listeners, is there a new image for us to look
Oh,
at?
very good question. Indeed there is. We're in a plush lounge with like the biggest 1980s sound system against one of the walls that you've ever seen. There's 2 sofas and a telly and a coffee table, and what look like gold discs on the wall.
Very nice.
I'll just leave the image
Not one of those down, shall we?
there so that if it gets replaced, we'll see it getting replaced. Okay, should we try the office? Let's try opening the door. The glass door is now open. Oi, where's my coffee? Bellows the producer from you know not where. Let's go north to the office. Office. This is where the studio paperwork is done. It's also where the producer often complains bitterly that he does everything. In fact, he spends most of his time, quote, delegating responsibility, or, in ordinary language, bossing people about. The glass door leads back to the lounge. There's a desk and a filing cabinet here.
Yeah, have a good route around.
So, desk and filing cabinet. Oops.
But interestingly, that's not where the producer is. So even if we manage to make coffee,
Mike,
yep.
your audio is really crackly. Did everybody else get that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. How is it now? I've not changed anything.
Terrible. In fact, yeah.
I'll reload Zoom, see what's that.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah,
is that
it's
better?
better. Yeah.
I literally haven't touched anything, so
That's odd.
what I was going to say was that the producer isn't in the office. So even if you manage to make coffee, we've still got to find the producer.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what it says about me that I'm so anxious about this coffee.
Quick. Well, let's examine the desk anyway. The desk is incredibly untidy. Perhaps the cleaning woman should be sacked. Very 80s. X cabinet. The filing cabinet is made of dull grey metal, obligatory for the modern 80s style office. It has a complex combination lock on it. It is locked.
Can you examine the lock just so that we can see anything about it?
Okay, I'm going to search the desk as well. You find nothing of interest. X
Can you
lock.
tidy the desk?
Sorry, tidy it. I could try tidying it. The lock is a 3-digit combination lock. It is currently set to 896. The producer's menacing voice echoes ominously around the whole studio. If I haven't got my coffee in 5 minutes, there'll be trouble.
This is starting to sound a lot like an escape game
Yes.
with a combination lock.
Tidy desk. I don't understand tidy. Well, not the only one. Okay, I think that's it probably for the office. Let's
Look under the desk. I was just thinking that
Okay.
Mike quite often points out that you can look under things or
yeah, look under desk, you find nothing of interest. I mean, I can say search office as well. No. So we can go east and west from the plush lounge. Should we go west
Sure.
randomly? Okay, west. Hallway. This east-west hallway has a blue door in the north wall which leads to the main studio. The light by the door is red, indicating that someone is playing at the moment. To the south is a locked door marked kitchen. The producer storms into the room, his beetroot face twitching with rage. "Where's my coffee?" he screams, pointing at you. "Why haven't you made it?" You try to blurt out an excuse, but he just rants on. "Rod makes coffee when he's asked, no questions. It's there in 5 minutes. He can have your job. You're fired. Now get out." He grabs you with his sweaty hand and leads you out onto the street. "I never want to see you again," he shouts, slamming the wooden door. Busy street. It's night, dark, and cars are flashing past on this busy road with disturbing regularity. Disturbing because the host-parasite interface is in danger. You start to feel a bit odd and reach out for the door to support you. Your head is spinning and you're finding it hard to concentrate. The door won't open and the host-parasite interface collapses, hurling you through the dimensions, slap bang into a goldfish's body inside a tacky plastic castle. This looks familiar. Well, there we go.
Told you we should have made that coffee.
Yeah.
We need to make the coffee a priority.
At least we found the kitchen. Okay, so we went west from the plush lounge, didn't we? And that got us to a hallway. And oops. And to the north of the hallway was the recording studio, and to the south was the kitchen. So let me just map this out. Of course, what we could have done as well is count how many moves we've got before we get thrown out by the producer.
well, we know it'll be like exactly the number it takes to make coffee.
Well, as I say, I'm still not convinced that making coffee is the thing that we need to do. I think that's just the arbitrary time limit that we've got.
You said the kitchen was locked as well, didn't it?
Did it?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that doesn't help. Right. All right, let's go back in, shall we? Swim
Can we see
small.
what's to the east of the lounge?
Yeah, we need to do that as well. Okay, we're back in the plush lounge. The producer is starting the timer by shouting at us. So should we try going west and checking out the kitchen and the studio?
Yeah.
And then we'll try east after that. So hallway. Oh, look, here's our ferric oxide cassette that we dropped. So let's get it. The producer says, "Rod, what are you doing? I need a tape changing." Okay, I've tried going south, but you smash your nose against the door. You must open it before you can go that way. The door or the nose? The door, idiot. So open door. Which one? The blue door or the kitchen door? Okay, open kitchen door. This is probably just wasting our turns. The kitchen door is locked. Open blue door. This is a warning. One of the cardinal rules of recording studios is that you don't enter a studio when the door is closed and the light is red. Okay, so we can't go into either of those. Was there anything further west? We do exits. Yes, we can go further west. So further west says corridor. This is as far as the studio goes. on a first date anyway. The wooden door with a switch by it is to the south, and the secondary control room door with a light by it is northwards. The hallway runs back to the east. Okay, so let's open the wooden door.
It did say it was a warning, so if you try and open it again, could you get in?
To the studio, I think it's warning us that something bad will happen, but I mean, that's never stopped us before, has it? Okay, let's go back east and go and open the blue door. As you open the door, a solid wall of sound blasts you back. You should have known how dangerous the 7 deadly fins can be, especially when they're in the middle of a thrash session. The lead guitarist looks you in the eye, launches into his solo and slams a power chord right between your eyes. Everything wobbles like a badly tuned TV as the host-parasite interface disintegrates in mere picoseconds. Your mind races headlong down a flaming tunnel into sudden blackness as you hit something wet and hard. You eventually open your stunned eyes to see that you're back in the plastic castle in the body of a goldfish. Well, I did try to warn you.
Yeah, it did warn us, yeah.
Definitely worth trying, though. I'm glad that, I'm enjoying the writing, so it's good that we did that. Let's go back, though. Okay, we're at the end of the corridor. So we can open a wooden door to the south, or another door to the north. I can't remember what door that was.
To the control room.
Yeah, control room door. Open wooden door. Let's try that. The wooden door is now open. Let's go south. You stride boldly into the store, bravely ignoring the dark and promptly... You stride boldly into the store, bravely ignoring the dark, and promptly bang your shin against something hard and metallic, causing a terrible racket. Yelping with pain, you hop back into the corridor. Oh, was there a switch?
Yeah.
Okay. Use switch. Flick
Click
switch. Press switch. A light flickers in the room to the south. Okay, the producer's telling us if we don't have the coffee in 5 minutes, there'll be trouble. Okay, now we can go into the store. This is where everything usually ends up. If you had the time to sift your way through it all, you might find some unreleased tracks by bands who have since become famous under other names. A more likely find are tracks that should be taken from this place and, for the general good of the population, burnt. There is a tape bin here. Let's look at the tape bin. The tape bin collects stray bits of tape during editing. It contains a chrome cassette and a metal cassette. Okay, so now we have a ferric oxide, a chrome and a metal. We've now got all 3 of them.
Did you examine the cassettes?
Okay, the ferric oxide cassette is an old 7 Deadly Fins demo, overdubbed with something else. The chrome cassette looks like it's been used as an ashtray, but it's probably still playable. The metal cassette is brand spanking new. Well, almost. It's only had one previous owner, a lovely old granny who only played it on Sundays. Okay.
North?
Let's try the north door. Let's just... Oh, north. Okay. We ran out of time. I'm going back. Going west. West. I'm just going to leave the cassettes there for now, rather than waste a turn picking them up. I want to see what the door to the north is, though.
Nothing that we've done so far has scored any points.
Okay. What, not even turning the light switch on? I haven't really succeeded in anything. Okay, the secondary control room door with a light by it is northwards. So let's have a look at the light. The light is blue. Okay, that means we can probably open the door then. Or just go north, can we? Or do we have to type secondary control room? Okay, the secondary control room door is now open. Secondary control room. This room is used to edit tracks so terrible that the bands who made them had to be sent down the pub. Unfortunately, the bands will probably become very famous as a result of the changes, which is why it's usually better to be a musician than a tape operator. An important button is next to the door to the south. There is a cassette player, a small cupboard, and an amplifier here. Oh, that's interesting. If that important button presumably turns the light on the outside, which means that we're then protected from the producer, right?
Yeah.
Well, usually the light is on the studio because that's where you're recording, is it? Not on the control room.
Yeah, but why is there a light on the control room?
Well, indeed. Let's play some tapes, shall we?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna.
We
I
don't
left the
have
tapes
tapes, do
outside.
we?
No,
Press the button. Always press the button.
I'm gonna get the tapes first.
You're such a rebel.
Okay.
But it's a button.
Whoa. Okay. Press button. The button gives under your pressure and speaks a sentence in button language. It says, click. Profound. The producer storms into the room, his beetroot face twitching with rage. Where's my coffee? He screams, pointing at you. Blah, blah, blah. We're back in the castle. So I went and grabbed the cassettes from outside, and that cost us the time. Okay. Actually, I'm just gonna fill the map in, and then maybe we should try just going east from the plush lounge just to check that direction out before we return to the control room.
I was just wondering, like, it may be that we don't actually ever need to make a coffee, but maybe we should talk to Rod, because the producer said that Rod used to make the coffee and he never had any problems. So Rod might like have the key to the kitchen or something.
Yeah. Rod is immediately called away as well, though, isn't he? So we have to do that right at the beginning.
Yeah, right at the start.
Store, tape bin. What was it? A chrome cassette and a metal cassette.
Yep, that's correct.
And then secondary control room. And there was an amplifier and a tape deck, right? And a button.
And a small cupboard.
Was there a cupboard?
Yep.
All right.
There's also the switch in the corridor.
Yeah. So there's a light and a switch in the corridor. Okie doke. Let's swim. Oops. Oh. Small warp. A shout out to everybody who's watching, if anybody's watching. I think Joe and Joey might be watching from the States.
Hi guys.
That's awesome if you are. And by all means, comment on the YouTube. We should see your comments. Make suggestions. Although we're not really stuck yet. So, okay. So I've gone east from the plush lounge. And we're in entrance hall. By the prominently displayed gold discs, this must be the entrance to an upmarket recording studio, possibly somewhere in London. There is a lounge to the west, and the exit to the street is east through a large wooden door. The producer's voice booms from the distance. Rod, what are you doing? I need a tape changing. Okay. I'm going to look at the discs. Several of the gold discs were awarded to the Seven Deadly Finns. One of the biggest was for their infamous album, Batting Averages from the Test Match of Oblivion. This one has been stolen. So we know what happened to that.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay, we could try opening the wooden door. The large wooden door is now open, and let's try going east out onto the street.
We're really going to go onto the street.
Sure.
We're just going to die, aren't we?
Well, maybe not. In fact, we're not. Busy street. It's night, dark, and cars are flashing past on this busy road with disturbing regularity. Disturbing because the host-parasite interface is in danger. You start to feel a bit odd and reach out for the door to support you. Your head is spinning and you're finding it hard to concentrate. Just before you lose consciousness, you fling the door open and fall back inside the studio. Slamming the door behind you, you take a few deep breaths to recover. Okay.
Phew.
So we can get back in. Obviously, if we're thrown out, we can't. Doesn't appear to be anything else in the entrance hall, though. So let's go back to the corridor.
So I guess we need to check the small cupboard, and we still don't know what that button does, do we, in the control room?
No, I've just got... Sorry, Mike.
We also haven't spoken to Rod.
No. I've just gone back to the corridor and the tapes aren't there, so I'm presuming that they're in the control room. In fact, I'm just going to go north, assuming that the control room door is still open. Yes. Okay, so there's a cassette player, a small cupboard, an amplifier, metal, chrome, and ferric oxide cassettes. So I'm going to close the control room door. And I'm going to press the button. Okay, it says click. Then I'm going to look at the cupboard. The small cupboard is made from chipboard and covered in plastic. It's pretty ugly. It is closed. Open cupboard. Ah. The small cupboard is now open. The producer storms into the room, his beetroot face twitching with rage. I guess that did not protect us from the producer coming into the control room.
No.
Okay. Let me just add the hallway to the map.
I wonder if the button isn't actually a play button. I wonder whether we've got to put a tape a tape in the tape machine and then press the button to listen to the tape.
Fair point.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so we have a chance to talk to Rod here. Excuse me. Did we have a method for talking to characters? Can we ask Rod about things? Ask Rob about studio.
Yeah, that fits the sort of schema, doesn't it?
I think so. Oh, I don't understand Rob. Oh, it's Rod. Sorry. Oh, he's gone. I better go, he says, rushing out. We literally only have that one turn at the very beginning to talk to him before he disappears. I'm not entirely sure what we should ask him about. Coffee, maybe?
Definitely coffee.
Or key or kitchen.
Kitchen.
Yeah, one of those things.
Okay. I mean, I could restore
code.
Or the code. Okay, ask Rod about kitchen. Rod says, I wouldn't worry about it. It's the producer's problem. And then he leaves.
Really helpful.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure restoring it and asking him individual questions is the way to go here. Let's see what else we can discover from these tapes.
Yeah, I think playing the tape seems like the way forward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To take it from the bin now.
Oh, yes, you are correct.
I don't know if it's helpful, but just have a thought about the combination lock, that the numbers 896 are different if it's upside down. 968, they're those numbers that you can flip. Just a thought.
Okay, obviously we've used up some turns by getting the cassettes again, because I restored our save game. So you might have to do this on the next loop. But it says an important button is next to the door to the south. But let's look at let's open the cupboard and look in it. The small cupboard is now open. The small cupboard contains a head cleaner. This is retro tech. Okay.
Yeah.
Or the tape player.
Yeah.
Or is it? or is it a device for cleaning one's head? Or someone else's head?
Let's look at the tape deck then. Oh. Cassette player. That's the end of our turn. The cassette player is a very expensive model with woofers, tweeters, bells, whistles, and a cuddly toy. Actually, it has none of those things, but you know what salesmen are like. The producer storms into the room, etc. Okay. Swim, small, warp. We've got a chance to ask Rod something else, so ask Rod about coffee. Rod says, coffee, strong coffee, keeps the hand in the right state of tension to help them capture those special moments. And then he leaves. So just a generic response, not anything that's going to help us in our quest, I don't think. So west, west, north. I'm just going to go south, and I'm going to look at the light. The light is blue, and I'm going to go north, and I'm going to press the switch. Oh. Okay, no, I'm going to go back to the castle. I'm going to swim, small warp.
Oh, God.
West, west, north. Press switch. Is it what? It says you can't see a switch here. Oh, press button. Press button. South. Examine light. The light is red. Okay, so when I press the button goes from blue to red. But we're kicked out again. I'm going to go into the control room, close control room door, and press the button. So how many turns, excuse me, how many turns was this? It was west, west, north, close door, press button. That's 5. Wait is 6. Wait is 7. The producer storms into the room. So on again on the 7th move, the
Do you think we
producer
need to make the light change from red to blue so we can go into the recording studio?
possibly. I mean, while the fins are in there recording, I don't think it's going to. Oh, unless by pressing that button we also change the light on the other door as well.
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
We can try that. It's not great that a producer storms into a control room when the red light's on. What's that about?
Very poor form.
Yeah.
Have you ever met a producer?
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Press button. Oh. Oh, I've closed the door. Oh my God.
Start again.
Yeah. It looks like I've got more turns now suddenly. That's odd. Okay.
Did you die as soon as you pressed the button? Because that would be twice that we pushed the button and died, is it?
That's true. Yes.
It 2 turns after you pressed the button, wasn't it? Or was it not?
I mean, the first time we did it, we died immediately, didn't we? Because I think we just ran out of all turns.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just sit here and wait to see how many we've got, not move at all, and compare that with pressing the button.
But the producer turns up and says, you've got 5 minutes.
Mm.
At that point, last time round, you had 5 turns before he turned up.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Did we examine the lock on the kitchen door?
No. Let's do that. You can't see a lock here. If the door's locked, I guess. It's just a door lock.
Unlock door? Tenuous, I know.
Yeah, we don't have anything to... It says with what, but we don't have anything.
That means we need to find a key.
You'd think so. Or it could be just a red herring. As we've come to realise, not everything in this game is relevant, right?
No, we need to get a gold disc and melt it down in a mould.
To make a key to the kitchen to make some coffee.
Yes.
Get hammer.
Okay. So I can put... So I can... Which cassette shall I get? Let's get the metal cassette. Put metal cassette in player. The metal cassette is now inside the cassette player. Play cassette player. You can't be serious. Press play. What do you want to press? Oh,
Play cassette?
I'll try it next time round.
Like,
Would
you
you
know,
have to
5 to 8.
would you have to connect it to the amplifier?
Possibly. west, west, north. I'm going to look at the player.
Rosie, was that 5 minutes? For your 5-minute warning, get us a coffee. Was it?
Okay, the player contains a metal cassette. Let's look at the amplifier. The amplifier is the top of the range scratch and itch. As usual, paying more means you get less until there's only one fader on the front, which can be used to set the output volume. Okay. Okay, set volume to 11. The fader is now set to 11. Good.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Push button.
Play cassette. Oh, which one? Okay, that's good though. Play metal cassette. The sound is too distorted to make any sense of it. You stop playing the tape, and then we run out of time. Maybe
Yeah, I
we.
guess we're gonna have to play the head cleaner, I
Yeah.
guess. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to try the other tapes as well, just to see what we get.
Is it too distorted because we're up to 11?
It's possible. Hey, it's the top of the range scratch and itch, mate. It should be fine.
It's also music made by some granny, so who knows?
Now let's see how good the parser is, because I'm not even holding the chrome cassette, and the metal cassette is already in the player. Okay, please play the cassette in or with something. Did I have to do that last time? Okay. Play chrome cassette in player. Or with player. Maybe with player. There's already something in the cassette player. Okay.
Oh, the score's gone up.
Oh. Distorted. And again, as soon as you do it, the producer arrives. Maybe not a coincidence. Are you following this, Lucas? How are you doing?
Just about.
Okay. West, west, north. Get chrome cassette. Play head cleaner in player. The cleaner rumbles its way through the machine, scrubbing the cassette heads until they're as shiny as new pins. Get head cleaner. Play. Let's try playing the metal one now. Play
Did we get
metal.
points there?
Sorry?
Did we get points there for playing the head cleaner?
We did.
Yep. I think we also got points for setting the volume as well.
Oh. Play metal cassette in player. The fader setting is much too high for the host parasite interface. A massive sound wave hits you like a locomotive. Your psyche is wrenched from its host and flung like so much chaff through the dimensions. You arrive back in the goldfish's body with a wet slap and notice with a heavy sigh that you are back where you started in the castle. Okay.
It is 8 o'clock now.
Okay, I suggest we turn the volume down and try playing the tape one more time, and then we call it quits.
Okay.
What's interesting is that the points that we've just scored, we still have, even when we return after having died, in inverted commas.
Mm-hmm.
which definitely isn't always the case.
Well, I think we just got 10 points for blowing our eardrums. So that I think that might be like bonus points. I'm going to set the fader to 5 and try playing the metal tape again. The tape starts playing a mournful love song entitled "Wherever I Lay My Eggs, That's My Row." Thank God it never got past the demo stage. Okay. Let's see if we get a chance to play the others. Play Chrome cassette in player. Whoop. Text. A really terrible blues tune starts to play. I woke up one morning, my woman was dead. Fin rot on her dorsal and white spot on her head. No wonder you found the tape in the bin. And the producer storms into the room. Okay, so there's one more tape to try. Play the ferret cassette in player. The tape plays a desperate tune entitled "My Gills Are Alive with the Sound of Music." Bloody terrible, adds the producer's voice. Get out of my studio. The tape stops. Okay.
Oh.
That's where we are.
Die.
We didn't die. No, I think the producer's voice is on the tape. I think, I think the bloody terrible adds the producer's voice. Get out of my studio is actually on the tape.
Oh, okay.
But that's 3 tapes, and we're none the wiser. I don't think, are we?
No.
3 tapes and 3 digits.
3 tapes and 3 digits.
Potentially.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, on that note, on that bombshell, we're going to call it quits for another week. By all means, go back and watch the live stream and see if you can get any clues as to what we might do next. But yeah, that's a good point. Maybe there is a number hidden in this somewhere. We just need to figure out where it is. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. See you next
Bye.
week. Have a great
See you
time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.